What's up everybody, it's Sean here and I'm here today to give you guys a review of the Nike Air Max 1 86 Big Bubble Premium in this Lost Sketch colorway. So this Big Bubble version of the Air Max 1 originally released earlier this year in that original white and red colorway. So this silhouette is supposed to represent the original production run of the Air Max 1 back in 1986, which featured a bigger air bubble compared to the normal Air Max 1 that we've come to know and love. So the version that we're familiar with released a year later in 1987, and it's largely because of durability issues surrounding this big bubble, which made Nike go back to the drawing board, tweak the design, and release them on March 26 of 1987. So this colorway is nicknamed the Lost Sketch colorway, and according to sneaker blogs and Nike's description, this colorway is inspired by Tinker Hatfield, who is the designer and creator of the Air Max 1. Apparently they uncovered or found a lost notebook of his, and these are inspired by one of those early sketches of the Air Max 1. I don't know if that's true or not. I actually haven't seen the sketch of that Air Max 1 that these are referring to, so if anyone has seen this or knows any more information about it, leave a comment down below. So these released on June 16th for a price of $170 US or $225 here in Canada. And the official colorway for this shoe is light smoke gray and diffused blue. So just like that OG white red colorway, this comes in the exact same box, which is done in a mix of black with speckling of red throughout. We have this window on the top featuring the Nike swoosh, and then on the side of the box right here we have these 4 circular cutouts, which are a nod to the 4 air chambers in the air bubble on the Air Max 1. So for all my Canadian viewers out there, this pair had a bit of a delayed release, and they're releasing on Saturday, June 24th at The Closet Inc. The Closet Inc. is my go-to shop for Nike releases and Jordan retros, and they're independently owned and operated based right here in Southern Ontario in Canada. So I'll link their website, their social media, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff down below. So check them out, support the independent shops, and be sure to tell them that I sent you. So jumping into the details of this shoe, on the toe box, you'll see that the base layer of the sneaker is constructed out of a gray colored mesh. So this mesh is a little bit different than the mesh found on that white and red colorway. So whereas that one was more of a herringbone style weave, this one in comparison has a bit of a diamond shaped weave to it. Surrounding the front toe cap, we have this blue leather overlay, but it features another iconic print that's commonly seen on Air Max 1s, and this is the safari print. So this safari print mudguard runs down the entire length of the shoe, and it wraps around the heel as well. Covering the U-throw area of the shoe, we have this cracked leather, which is done in a pale purpley blue tone. So this same cracked leather covers the entire quarter panel of the shoe, and the top 2 eyelets are constructed out of a dark blue TPU. Overlaid on top of the quarter panel, we have this navy blue swoosh, and then above this, wrapping around the top portion of the shoe, we have a gray colored nylon, which differs from the mesh that we saw earlier on the toe box. And then covering the heel of the shoe, we have more of that cracked leather, and embroidered across we have Nike Air branding in dark blue. As far as the laces go, so these only come with one lace option. Nike didn't give us any other lace options other than these flat gray laces. And then underneath this, the tongue is primarily constructed out of a gray colored mesh. On the top, however, we have this woven tag in gray with Nike Air Max branding in dark blue. And then the interior liner of the shoe is lightly padded, and it's covered in a dark blue mesh, and we have the size of the shoe stamped onto the medial edge. As far as the insoles go, so these come with a foam lined insole, nothing too special here. However, it's mesh lined, and we have Nike Air Max branding pressed onto the heel once again. So the upper of the Air Max 1 sits atop this chunky polyurethane foam midsole, which is painted in this vintage looking yellow tone. Encased within the forefoot, we have the air unit that's not visible to the eye, and then of course we have this super-sized air bubble that's visible on the heel of the midsole. So again, this air bubble is much bigger than your traditional Air Max 1, and then printed above it on the lateral side, we have the word air, which looks like it's hand-drawn, which is a nod to Tinker Hatfield's sketch. And then finally, turning this pair over to the bottom, so this outsole is constructed out of a dark blue colored rubber. We have that classic waffle style traction pattern that's visible on the forefoot, along with Nike Air branding running down the center of the heel. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this pair. And for those wondering about sizing, so my foot measures as a true size 10, slightly on the wider side. I got these in a size 10 and they fit me pretty nicely. So I feel like if you have a narrow, normal, or slightly wide foot, true to size should be perfectly fine for you. But if you do have a really wide foot, you probably want to go up a half size, because this area right where the lace begins, it can feel a little bit snug straight out of the box. But long story short, whatever size you normally wear with the Air Max 1, I'd probably recommend just sticking with that exact same size for this pair. Moving on to the comfort, so these feel honestly not that comfortable despite the fact that it incorporates a much larger air unit in the heel. So trying them on, the on-foot feeling is pretty identical to a normal Air Max 1. The forefoot feels pretty firm, flat, and low to the ground. There's not too much from a softness and step and comfort perspective. And even though there is a larger air unit, I guess in that sense, your heel feels a little bit more elevated off the ground. So the angle and the differential between the heel and the forefoot is a little bit more extreme than your traditional Air Max 1. But the comfort difference isn't that noticeable. Honestly, it still feels pretty much like any other Air Max 1. So for an everyday casual use shoe, I feel like they're gonna be perfectly fine. If you're someone that normally likes Air Max 1s and how they feel, then I think you'll really like these as well. But if you're traditionally someone that hates how Air Max 1s feel, then I'd probably avoid this shoe in the same way. Finally, in terms of the overall quality and the craftsmanship, so first off, material quality, I thought it was decent. I thought the best part of the shoe was this safari print mudguard. This to me felt like it was the best quality. And then aside from that though, the cracked leather was okay, nothing special there. And then the rest of the shoe was pretty much synthetic. So it wasn't anything amazing. For a premium version of this Air Max 186, I wasn't exactly blown away, but it wasn't bad either. And from a build and craftsmanship standpoint, this is where I had the biggest issues with this pair. There's a lot of small issues that I had. For example, the paint job I thought wasn't the best. It looked a little bit sloppy. And the left foot of my pair, it came pre-creased, which I guess in the grand scheme of things isn't that big of a deal if I'm gonna be wearing these. But it's still kind of annoying opening a shoebox, taking out the shoe for the first time, and seeing this really ugly crease around this toe box, which is a testament to Nike's quality control or lack of quality control. So hopefully I just got unlucky, but let me know in the comment section down below, how was the build and the quality control on your pair? So with all that out of the way now, let me toss these on feet. I'll lace them up and I'll show you guys how these look. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised how much these are sitting on websites online. I guess I figured this being another big bubble colorway, and with the narrative tying it to a lost sketch of Tinker Hatfield, I would have expected these to be selling better, but I guess that's a reflection of the sneaker industry these days. A lot of stuff is sitting, which is a great thing for those of us who don't want to jump through hoops to buy our shoes, and potentially even get these for sale later down the road. So for me, I think this colorway isn't bad. Is this a colorway that I think I absolutely need in my collection? Probably not. But safari print is just one of those iconic prints that are often associated with the Air Max 1. And I really like how they utilize this pattern on this shoe, but it's done almost in this tonal fashion, so it doesn't really stand out unless you really take a close look. But aside from that though, I thought this vintage midsole was a little bit too dark. I personally would have preferred if they toned down the aged look of this midsole and maybe give us a midsole that's more of a true white or even a bit of a sail color. But at this point, I'm just nitpicking, so let me know in the comment section down below, what are your overall thoughts on this Lost Sketch Air Max 1 Big Bubble? For anyone watching, have you picked up a pair of these? Are you waiting for these to go on sale? Or it's not really your thing and you're gonna pass on these straight up? If you guys like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at esgo8, follow my Twitter account at sean.go, and visit my website at seango.ca. So until next time, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review and hopefully it helped you in some way. Another shout out goes out to The Closet Inc. and I'll catch you guys all in my next review.